is Thabo Dibakwane, and I started in this business specifically in terms of retail. I started in 1985.
1985.
Yeah. Although at that time when I started, it was not full time. I was just doing part time. What was happening? I was in the corporate environment, and over weekends I used to sell fruit and veg. And I thought it was going to be a two-month thing, and then I'll be over it. But by the time we got to the second month, I was already hooked, and it actually posed a serious challenge to me, because then I was saying to myself, yeah, now what do I do? Do I still continue with my corporate life, or do I continue with this retail thing? So I was straddling two worlds, basically. And then in 1992, I went back into the retail business in the Mabopane area. And I've been there since. Since 1992. I never literally left that area. Okay? Although originally I'm from Matrisville, and most of my activities are in Matrisville. But I also spend a lot of time in the Mabopane, Soshanguve, Winterfeld complex. Because I started again in 92 in Mabopane with a supermarket. And something happened as well. Whilst I was busy with that, I branded it, and for some reason I found it made a difference, because some of the reps that came, they thought it was a franchise, and I said, oh, okay, if they think it's a franchise, I'll go along with it. Because it offered me an opportunity to get better discounts, which I wouldn't probably get. So now I realized branding is important. And then from there, I also started opening businesses in Winterfeld, in the greater Soshanguve area. I can't even keep track of how many shops operated in that environment. Yeah, 2019, around towards the end of 2019, that's when I opened this place. To say, look, let me find out. But now, when I opened here, there's something that I found. The business environment has changed. The landscape has changed. One cannot do business the way you used to do it 10 years ago. Things have changed. If you want to seriously make a dent, you can, but know that at least you'll operate on a very small scale, which will be relatively insignificant. You need scale. And when I say you need scale, I mean either when you operate as a lone ranger, you need to partner up with other guys to really boost up your business. Why am I saying that? Remember, part of the retail, in this retail environment, we've got the so-called outsiders who we are competing with. I've taken time to study how they do it. If I come in here as an individual, I'll open my shop, and probably in this environment nothing will happen. But in other parts of Atteridgeville, as an example, if I had opened this maybe in Matebele or Black Rock, I'm not sure what would have happened, but around this shop, there would be 4 or 5 other spazas that would have mushroomed. The reason why it's not happening here is because the community have taken a decision that they don't want any outsiders in this environment. But if it was some other place, how they do it, you open your shop here, they realize, hey, look, this guy's doing business. They target your neighbors. They offer them ridiculous amounts so that they can just get a foothold. And once they get in there, they all work towards making sure that you fold. Once they've suffocated and you close, then everything else changes. The dynamics change. Yeah? If they were selling a loaf of bread for 10 rand, the dynamics change. You have closed. Loaf of bread is no longer 10 rands, it's now 18 rands. They are recovering their losses whilst they were suffocating. And then I don't even want to speculate as to what else is being sold in there. So yeah, that's one of the challenges that we have. That's why I say the landscape has changed. It is also affecting me because remember now, the situation I'm in, to be quite honest, I care for my people. If I stop, I must make sure I either buy from, for example, a macro, or I go to, there's a wholesaler called Advanced Cash and Carry. I'm targeting wholesalers where I know they sell genuine stuff. The rest, I cannot guarantee the quality. It's macro, JME in Chester. They sell primarily hardware, non-perishable stuff. It's Kit Kat, it's Big Safe, and Advanced. Those are the credible wholesalers that we still have. I'm forced to exclusively source my products from them. The reason being, at least I know I can vouch for the quality. I won't be selling to the community questionable products. But then what is also happening, why I'm saying that is, the very same competitors that we have here have their own wholesalers in town. And they, I think it's gradually becoming an open secret as to what type of goods are being sold in there. That's why I say the landscape has changed. Now you cannot approach this business now as a lone ranger. You need to have a scale. You need to have smart partnerships. You need to be deliberate in terms of where you source your products, because otherwise you'll be selling, fraudulent or questionable goods to the community. So it says I cannot just indiscriminately go to any wholesaler. I have to do my planning. I have an advantage because I've been long in this business. I have track records with some of the wholesalers. I must be honest, I'll be blunt about it. I get preferential pricing because I've dealt with them for a long time. I know how far low they can go. If I see a price on a pamphlet, I can go to the back office and say, shave off R1.50 or whatever. I know who to talk to and all those things. And when I get that R1.50 or R1, I pass it on to my client. And then some people say, oh, but because I remember when I started here, one lady came in and said, hey, why is this product so cheap? Are you selling me the cheap? And I said, yeah, well it is. You can check, I can even show you the invoice and all that, but they said no, it's questionable. It's because probably maybe in the psyche of our people, they don't expect to get maybe those type of prices here. And it's possible. It's possible because I have a plan. We'll implement it as time goes on. These are going to be the supermarkets of the future. We'll find a way of ensuring that we get the good prices that we deserve and that our customers deserve. But coming back to your original question in terms of you make your profit when you buy, I can't just indiscriminately go into a wholesaler and just pull something off the shelf. I have to check the pricing and shop around and try and haggle and negotiate for a better price. Because if I do get a better price, guess what? at least I'll get the commodity at a good price. I can even come back, even if, for example, some of these big brands throw a promotion in a week or two's time. Yeah? Even if they go low, chances are I will still be on course. But if I don't do that, I'll be out of the equation.
Yeah.
People don't have time to, times are tough. People don't have time in terms of going to a shop where they are going to overspend.
Yeah.
When they know they can go to somebody else and buy for 5 rand cheap or whatever. So I'll always pay cognizance of that. That's why I say you'll make a profit when you buy. Because if you don't buy well, you'll never make a profit.
Yeah.
You'll end up being an NGO. If you yeah, but that's something else. The landscape has changed. In terms of youth vis-a-vis the retail business, you mentioned something very crucial, training. You can't throw money at this type of business. You can't. You'll be wasting time. You need to have people. This business is tough. You work long hours. You need to have the, first and foremost, you need to have the passion for it. Because if you don't, you'll find somebody who will be in the shop for 2-3 hours and say, but no, I can't stand this. And then tomorrow, instead of coming to open, they'll give you excuses. They need to have passion, they need to be trained, they need to be exposed to one of the models that we need to explore probably in this space, specifically retail. We need to take cognizance of the environment as it is. Not all areas in all the townships are like this area, Deep Seas, where the community have decided they don't want foreigners operating shops. Other areas, anything goes. Now you must realize you are up against people who work as a collective. If I may, I'm looking for the right word to use, but. You might find some of the guys who operate there are not the real owners of the shop. You might find the owner is the guy who operates the wholesale. That is why in certain areas, have you not realized that in certain areas when the community springs up against a certain retailer, whether they loot the shop, whatever, in 2 days' time they can still restock and continue. Why? It's not the fact that the guy who was running that shop was gutted or whatever. He's just a worker there, and you just disturbed one of the outlets, and when things stabilize, they continue because they've solved. Now, if you're a loner, should something like that happen to you, that's it. You're gone. That's why I say we need to develop a different mindset. To say, look, if you don't want to use violence and you want to compete against this guy and edge them out, we can do it differently. We can do it differently, but we need to collaborate. You can't work as a loner and think you can destabilize these other people out of the equation. GDP, retail business is big, but our people unfortunately don't see it because they are not involved in it. I'll give an example. I'll give you an example of a spa I was running in Haranko. In those days, when I took over the business it was completely obliterated. When I operated it, I didn't operate it as a spa franchise. Originally it was a spa franchise, but it was gone, it was run down. But when I started, for example, I think the first month my turnover was around something like 600,000. But by the second month, If you do things well and all that. I was already on the 1.5, 1.6 turnover per month. By the time ShopRite bought that complex so that they kicked me out, I was already over 2 million per month. Now, obviously, those are not numbers that you go bending around because people will start saying, hey, that's right. I'll give you an example. Oh, sorry, as a by the way.
Yeah.
I went to a funeral of one guy who was a rep at Coke next to my supermarket in Aramco. But because I'm not the type of guy who wants to be in the forefront and all that, I was sitting there because I know the guy. The Coca-Cola is one of our major partners and suppliers. And some of the local mafia guys will say, hey, there's this supermarket here. Hey, it's busy, but we don't see this cash in transit vans coming to collect money. We want to know how the money moves out of there. So we've put people around the shop to monitor how money moves because we want to grab it. And they were talking next to me. But okay, maybe also fortunately for me, ShopRite kicked me out of that company. But I'm saying, we might think it's a joke, but the thing is, a cash business, for example, even in the township, people, it attracts
a lot of eyes.
Yeah, it attracts a lot of life, and they'll be circling around trying to find how they can get access to that. Yeah? That's why some of our people don't know. Because even when I was operating here, I never divulged how much I was making because hey, you don't want to be
a target.
You don't want to be a target.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But if that money that's floating in other people's hands can get into our hands, I can tell you now, I can safely say in 2 or 3 years' time we'll be in a position, the retail business in Atteridgeville only will be in a position to employ nothing less than 5,000 full time in Atteridgeville.
No, I think we can close it. Otherwise, we know how anything we go overboard.
That's it.
No, look.
Hopefully, yeah.
Now, hour.
Yeah. Now, when I did this,